Hey y'all, it's Jocelyn coming to you guys with another plant rescue, except this time it's like huge. I went to another store and they had some of the plants that were similar to the other store, but my boy said he was about to throw them all in the trash. So I called up, talked to the manager to see if I could get them, and he told me to pick them up. So we got some pothos, some berry syngonium, some common ivy, some dieffenbachia. I don't know, y'all. I'm not 100% sure I can save all these plants, but the ones that I can save, I will save, and I will be back to y'all maybe with a repot video. So some of them were in pretty bad shape, but even these can be salvageable. These are pothos. They're pretty resilient. $5. No, I didn't pay that. But I'm gonna see what I can do. All right, so after we picked all of these dying leaves off, we have a crap load of golden pothos. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I got 3 dieffenbachia. I got 3 berry syngonium, and I have 4 common ivy. So I'm gonna repot all these. All right, one last overview before I start giving stuff away. Let's get into it. Y'all, this is my homemade soil that I make. It really works well for my plants. It is Miracle Grow in the blue bag, orchid bark, and perlite. All these bags are the same size. I use a full bag of the Miracle Grow, a full bag of the orchid bark, and half a bag of perlite. If you guys want a more detailed video on how I put this together, I would love to show you. Just drop it in my comments. Let me know what you want to see. Why do I have gloves on? Because I'm dealing with a dieffenbachia, which is a dumb cane plant, and the sap from these plants are poisonous to humans, dogs, cats, frogs. So we have to be really careful when we're dealing with these plants. But yeah, I broke up some of the soil so I can get down to the roots. I like to get that soil off of there. What I've learned is it either holds too much water or not enough. And a lot of pests like to live in the roots, in the soil that the plant is sitting in. I like to clean the undersides of the leaves. A lot of pests like to live there. I clean the tops. This way I can prevent infecting the rest of my plants. This is a common ivy. Y'all, I don't know much about it, but when plants be free, you don't care what it is. So I got these, and I'm trying to get some of this soil off of here, but these roots are much more fragile, and I'm not sure if it's because they root rotted and then dry back out or what, but they're kind of brown. I don't like that, and I wasn't able to get a lot of that soil off. This one is a syngonium, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, and I did the same process, kind of teased it, but I found like what used to be a root plug. So they say that some of those root plugs really do dissolve. And it looks like this one actually did in this case. But you can kind of see how it kind of tangles up the roots. And it gives you the illusion that the plant is growing really, really well. Because if a plant stops focusing on growing roots because it feels like it's grown past the size of the pot that it's in, it'll start to push out more foliage and flowers and things like that. So they get it to push out a whole lot of flowers this way. The roots eventually make their way out of the dissolvable root plug, but sometimes that doesn't dissolve all the way, and then it kind of strangles out the roots of the plants, which is what I think is happening with my pink princess, but that's a whole nother story. Note here that I'm about to put on my blue gloves again because I do have to go ahead and pot up this dieffenbachia that I have. A couple of them, I think I got like 3. And I still want to be, yes, very, very careful. This is the syngonium. I decided not to speed this video up just because really I hate when people speed the video up a little too much to where I wasn't able to really see what they were doing. So yes, I cleaned most of the soil off of that syngonium, and I generally start with a pot that had like an inch bigger than the root ball, and these didn't really need to be repotted because the roots were root bound, most of them, but I did want to get that soil off of there so that I can get a better soil on there. And in my soil, oh shoot, I forgot to tell you I put worm castings in my soil. Anyway, they have slow release fertilizer in the soil, so it helps the plant even during the winter time when I really don't have to fertilize the plant, and it kind of just does its own little thing when I'm watering sporadically. But yes, I put the plant in the inside of there, and then I put the soil all the way around, as you see me doing here, and making a mess. But I try to make sure that I get each side filled. I try to make sure that it's not smashed and compacted into my pot, but it is full and it is firm enough to hold my plant still, because I use a really loose soil, I have to make sure that my plant is going to be firm, because they'll fall over if you don't do right. So most times I just press down just a little bit, and I do lose a little bit when I water. So then I want to make sure I have a little extra in there, so that when the water goes through, I don't lose so much soil. The next one I think I potted up was one of the Dieffenbachia. And this was the one that I was going to give my sister, but I wanted to make sure that it was really nice first. So it's got that yellow leaf on there. And I do believe that I eventually get rid of that guy. Or I'm thinking about it here. I'm like, ugh. Sometimes they can take a long time to turn yellow. I hate to cut a leaf off before it's all the way dead, so that the plant can draw the nutrients back into itself, and then I can get rid of the leaf. But I also hate to have yellow leaves, because they also can draw pests. They let the pests know that your plant is sick and it's weak and it's got an issue. So I try to get rid of those most of the time. I would just say use your judgment when it comes to repotting plants and just trying to care for them. Everything doesn't apply to every plant. All right, so I'm about to pop this one up, and note that the roots still have a lot of room in there, and I don't want to put it in a really big pot and then it gets root rot and I got to worry about how often I'm watering it. I just don't have time for those kind of problems. So I'm doing the same kind of process with this plant that I did with the Sigonium that I had before. What I need to do is be careful about how I done washed all these leaves off and made them all clean and all pretty, and dumping dirt all over them again, and then I'll have to wipe them off one by one before I give them away. My sister's super excited about receiving this plant, though, y'all. All these plants that I got, I'm giving away. I really ain't got no room for them, but I do like to bless people with plants, because it makes people happy. And some of my plant friends, they probably plant friends and they don't really know. They feel like they kill everything and they're just not good at stuff. But sometimes you just need a little bit of help. They set us up, y'all. Please don't get me on this tangent of how big box stores set us up to fail. Because the peat moss and things that they coco coir that they put the plants in the stores, they just don't do well with watering. They don't water the plants well. They kind of water all the plants the same, and most plants don't like that. And then they bunch all the seed. Y'all not bad at plants and gardening and things like that. We have been ganked, y'all. They give us the wrong starting blocks. We just out the gate, we getting ganked. I can do another video on that. Maybe I will do another video on that, because freaking Coastal, what is it? Coastal something. They are terrible about it. All they plants I get be soaking wet, and the pot is way too big for the roots that are gonna go in to that pot. So then they all end up with root rot. It is insane. If you do not change out your plant immediately, you're gonna think you can't do plants. And that's not always true. Sometimes you just got a really bad start. So my goal with this is to get the plants in some really good soil so they don't have to worry about that. I fertilize them when I water my plants, because I use like liquid dirt, and you can use that all year round. It's pretty natural, so you don't have to worry about burning your leaves and things like that. But then I also have that slow release fertilizer in there or whatever. But I want to give them a good start. And I have these little plant cards I'll insert here. But I have those, and it helps to give them instruction on what to do with the plant. If it's a monthly watering, I tell them stuff like, if your birthday is the 21st, like mine, water your plants on the 21st. If it's something like a snake plant that doesn't need much water, or if you have to water weekly or bi-weekly, or, every 3 days, I give them that information so that they can be successful. And once they're successful and they see new leaves and they see the plants starting to produce for them, all of the people that I've given plants to are now plant people, and they didn't even know. And they will tell you, I can't grow a cactus, and you give them a cactus and you're like, because you overdoing it. This is supposed to be minimal work. So sometimes we overdo it. Just not giving the right instruction can lead to failure. But I'm gonna go ahead and fill this one up. And this is the common ivy. I don't know much about the common ivy, y'all. I'm not keeping these plants. I don't even own a common ivy. I gave my mom 3, and I gave my friend at work 1, and another friend at work wants a common ivy. So I'm going to be giving all those away, because I have nothing for them. But I will look up enough information to give the new plant parent if they don't have the information that they need automatically. But y'all, I was about to shoot another video with me potting up the rest of the plants, but that video was already 28 minutes long, and it was literally me just getting the soil off because I decided to go outside and get the soil off the plants. I'll insert a video of what that looked like. But it was 28 minutes of getting all of those plants into new soil, and they actually look really, really, really good. So I really don't have any complaints, but y'all, it just reminded me of the scripture in the Bible. Scripture said, "You've been faithful over a few, I'll make you ruler over many." The first time I did this, y'all, I had a little box that had maybe 5 or 6 plants in it. This time, I have over 15, 20 plants to give out, and I'm going to give them out. And I just pray that it gives me an opportunity to tell my testimony on how I got them and how good God is and how he makes a way and works through things with us. And maybe somebody can meet Jesus through plants. What y'all think? I don't know, y'all. I believe God is that able. I believe he's that good to do what he want to do when it comes to stuff like this. I just thank him for blessing me to steward over it. These plants turned out really, really nice. And I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of video. I don't know if you guys will enjoy this kind of video, but I surely enjoy making this video for you guys. And I know I'm going to enjoy seeing the smiles on people's faces when I'm able to give them these plants. And they're going to say, "What I owe you?" And I'm like, "Jesus paid it all." No, I'm just playing. But these are the plants that I still had to do. And I did that today. I kind of cleared them out. That's the footage you guys saw earlier today. And I don't know, y'all, it was a lot, but it was really fun. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. These are quarantine plants because these had spider mites, child, and I was not finna put them by nothing else. So I had to get that all cleared out. Y'all be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all my social media platforms. Peace.